Is there a problem with reforms in Nigeria, especially if you look at the early and late 2000s, where there was spate of economic reforms, whether it's a macro, it's in telecoms, it's in the banking sector. So, I mean, the government was just coming up rapidly with changing economic policies, but it's been almost flat since then. What do you think is the issue with reforms in the government cycle?
I had a baptism of fire when AMCON is a government-owned enterprise, so it's government. But when I started at AMCON, my initial fight was with the National Assembly. They gave me a lot of trouble. They called me every week for something or the other. But then after a year, I realized that the biggest problem was the executive branch. I ended up having more problem with the executive branch than I ever had with the National Assembly or the judiciary. By the way, I think the judiciary is the best institution in Nigeria, and people should realize how good judiciary was. At AMCON, we had at the point 1,000 cases in court. And of the 1,000 cases, I can only remember 1 or 2 cases where I felt strongly that there was a perverse judgment out of 1,000. So I think they do well. But the executive is the problem in Nigeria. Central Bank, for example, I think is over-regulating the banks. Nigeria is the only place where banks, in a dispute with the Central Bank of Nigeria, are afraid to take Central Bank of Nigeria to court. There's no reason why a bank cannot go to court with the Central Bank if their dispute cannot be resolved amicably. So most of our reforms crash and burn on the altar of overregulation. The regulators acquire so much power, they are dominant, it becomes, in the end, government has too much power over the institutions they regulate. I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have in Nigeria with reforms. So the reforms sound good, they start off good, but at the end of the day, you find out, look, why the heck is NERC regulating the electricity tariffs? It's like going to Sahara Desert and saying, I want to regulate the price of water. Get the water there first. Let's have enough electricity first before you start telling us what price we should sell it at. NERC should not be in business. But again, that's overregulation. And I think that once we can deal with responsible regulation, I think that most of those reforms will be good. AMCON, by the way, was a very necessary intervention at the time it was. I'm not so sure AMCON is necessary today, but at the time AMCON came in, the banking system would have collapsed absent AMCON. And so it happened, but you and I, we've discussed this before. I think AMCON should be folded into NDIC at this point and become a division in NDIC. But at the time it was necessary, and we didn't want to go into the scope of the problem because that would have scared the system. But now I think it can be folded quietly into NDIC.